Hello, and welcome to NeuroNights, where we don't just watch the world, we decode it. I'm your host, and tonight we're peeking inside your brain to see what anime's really doing up there. So get comfy, sharpen your neurons, and let's begin. Cognitive processing. Anime often has non-linear storytelling. Think Erased or Attack on Titan. You're watching events jump between timelines, seeing fragments before the whole, and getting character motives piece by piece. Your prefrontal cortex must be engaged to keep up with the pace. That's the part of the brain responsible for logic, decision-making, and working memory. It's like doing mental gymnastics while being emotionally invested. Emotional training. Most anime isn't shy about emotion. Death, sacrifice, friendship, and regret are core elements of the narrative. A silent voice, Your Lie in April, Anohana. They don't just show emotion, they demand your empathy. This activates your limbic system, especially the amygdala, which handles emotional responses. By observing complex emotional situations, you strengthen your emotional intelligence, how you understand others and your own feelings. Over time, that translates into better emotional regulation in real life. Subtitles equals brain workout. Watching subbed anime is a brain workout. It trains your temporal lobes to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. Reading subtitles, listening to a foreign language, interpreting tone and mood, and watching fast-moving visuals. This multi-sensory integration is challenging, but your brain adapts. It builds cognitive load tolerance, your ability to process several streams of information simultaneously. This has spillover benefits for reading speed, listening skills, and even learning new languages. Visual training. Anime uses a distinct visual language, exaggerated expressions, unique framing, symbolism, lighting and color cues. Your occipital and parietal lobes constantly decode this, recognize patterns, read emotional subtext from facial expressions, and pick up on subtle visual clues. The more you watch, the sharper your visual processing gets. You're not just passively watching, you're training to observe, infer, and interpret. Mirror neurons. Learning through characters. When you see a character struggle, fall, learn, and grow, your brain mirrors that experience. It happens due to mirror neurons. They fire when you do something, but also when you see someone else do it. Watching Naruto, Never Give Up, or Shinji from Evangelion battle depression isn't just drama. Your brain is rehearsing how to cope with failure, responsibility, or change. This kind of simulated experience has real-world effects. It increases resilience, improves emotional memory, and helps you deal with difficult situations because your brain has already practiced it through fiction. Auditory sensitivity. Anime voice acting is exaggerated, intentionally. Every gasp, shout, whisper, and sigh is heightened. Such dynamic acting teaches your brain to pay attention to prosody, the emotional meaning in tone and rhythm. You start noticing when someone sounds sad, not just when they say, "I'm sad." That makes you a better listener. You pick up on nuance, and your auditory cortex becomes more sensitive to emotional cues in any language. Language priming. Even if you don't speak Japanese, repeated exposure teaches your brain basic structures, common phrases, sentence endings, and politeness levels. That's passive linguistic acquisition. Your Broca's and Wernicke's areas, language production and comprehension zones, start recognizing rhythm, tone, and intent. And if you do decide to learn Japanese, you'll find your brain already has a map. Vocabulary sticks faster. Listening comprehension is stronger. You've built a scaffold through exposure. Creativity and abstract thinking. Anime is full of metaphors. A girl who literally fades away when ignored, Komi can't communicate. A world where names hold power, Death Note. time loops that represent guilt, zero, understanding. This requires abstract reasoning, a high-level cognitive function. You're not just watching explosions, you're learning to decode symbolic meaning. That skill strengthens right brain functions like creativity, metaphor recognition, and nonverbal intuition. This is why people who grow up with rich fiction, not just anime, tend to think more flexibly and solve problems more creatively. Community equals brain enrichment. Talking about anime, arguing over ships, laughing over memes. This is social cognition in action. It's a shared experience that brings us together, even across cultures, and it matters. Honest conversations, even online ones, release dopamine and oxytocin, strengthening memory and reducing stress. Anime becomes a shared language, a way to bond, even across cultures. Engaging in fan communities improves theory of mind, the ability to understand that others think differently from you. This is a key skill in empathy, leadership, and communication. Genre. Exposure expands thought. Anime spans genres better than almost any other medium. Fantasy, sci-fi, slice of life, historical drama, and psychological horror are all animated. This variety forces your brain to shift frameworks constantly. One day, you might be thinking about robot ethics, the next about school bullying, or the next about post-apocalyptic politics. You're training cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking style depending on the context. This improves your ability to learn, solve new problems, and adapt to change, vital life skills in today's chaotic world. So what's the catch? Too much of anything is still too much. You need sleep, daylight, social interaction, and physical movement. But used well, anime is more than entertainment. As part of a balanced life, it's a cognitive enhancer. You're learning to feel deeply, see patterns, interpret emotion, shift perspective, listen better, read faster, and empathize more. Your brain is changing every time you press play, and often, it's changing for the better. So yes, anime can be a powerful tool for mental growth. Not just because it's fun, beautiful, or emotional, but because it activates so many systems in your brain at once. Understanding this can empower you to make informed choices about your entertainment and its impact on your cognitive health. And that, dear listener, is neuroscience.